Well, welcome everybody to another edition of the Coach Don Harrison Show, brought to you by Subway in the Newport Walmart Supercenter. Coach, it's August time, and when it's August, it's football time. We've been talking for the last several months about leading up to this time. It's time to go play. We're fixing to start practice. Tell us about what the month of August is going to look like. What are we going to do? How are we going to do it?
Right. Well, we start Monday morning, August the 4th. We're going to start, and we'll practice in the mornings the first week of August, and then we'll practice in the afternoons the second week of August because of the coach's schedule and having to be at school. But other than that, we get 2 full weeks of go. Now, of course, first 3 days is only helmets. The next 2 days is only helmets and shoulder pads. But then that next week we can go pads whenever we feel like it's necessary, and full pads all the way and all that. And then, of course, that third week of August is first day of school. Once first day of school starts, we show up on a regular basis. And
more of a routine.
Yeah, it's a routine, and it really gets a lot better.
All right, talk a little bit about, Coach, about what y'all have done on the summer. We've talked about on this program of 7-on-7 camps and team camps. Kind of look back, and how's our team look at this stage of the game going into fall camp?
They look really good. They've worked very hard. Ever since July 7th, they showed up in the mornings, and they've worked out every Thursday in July except for today. We did a team camp, but today the boys showed up, and in less than an hour, they ran 56 sprints.
Wow.
And so they busted them out, and they got them out, and was real proud of them. They did a great job, and, they came, they worked out, they're in shape, they're ready to go, and they're acclimated to what's about to happen to them. And looking back at it, you have to juggle the kids' schedules, you got to juggle their family schedules, but we had pretty good participation. We had everybody coming in. We had some guys that got some makeup days, and that's part of it, but they'll do their makeup time, they'll be fine.
When I see some of these kids in public, when I see them from a year ago and then I see them now, I look at the difference in the physique of some of these kids, and it just looks like we have trained extremely hard to get ready for this year.
We do a good job with the kids in the off season and in the weight room. We went to a very different program in the way of explosion. We spent some money on some sleds. We got 2 different kinds of sleds, 4 sleds apiece. We can pull them, we can push them, and there was a whole training regiment. They did it, and at first I think the kids were a little excited about it, and then after they started doing it, they didn't get very excited about it. But it has really helped.
Worked.
Yes, it's helped our explosion. And again, I talk about it all the time, but our kids, when they come through the door, they know they're going to work, and they don't back away from it. And that's why you talk about seeing some of these kids and how good they look. The increases they had in bench, squat, and power clean from January to now it's awesome. It's awesome, and it's exciting when you come in here as a coach and your guys are working, they want to work, and when they come in, they're serious and they get after it.
Well, years ago, August was the start of it, and boy, and then a lot of folks would report out of shape. Not the case anymore. Most of your guys are going to come. Talk a little bit about health-wise. Where are we health-wise? We're a football team, and everybody ready to go? Everybody's
ready to go. The only one that we're a little concerned with is DeAndre. We watch DeAndre on a regular basis, make sure that he's okay, but he's the only one that we're a little concerned with. Other than that, he's doing really good, and everybody's healthy. Went through 3 pad camps. Nobody got injured. A couple guys got nicked up a little bit, but nothing really serious. And no, I mean we're 100% healthy right now.
All right, now August is the training part. We continue with the training. We're getting ready to play and kind of rehash, partially, doesn't have to be an exact schedule, but, what does it look like? Tell us about the early part and the preseason game, you get into the first 3 ball games, which are non-conference games, and the conference season, and then playoffs, and we're trying to get there 28 years in a row.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's what's on our minds, and we're getting so close to it. Our scrimmage game is August 26th, Tuesday night. We're going to scrimmage Valonia. And then September 5th, we open at home for Nettleton. We go to Greene County Tech, to Sylvan Hills, to West Helena, home for Lone Oak on October 6th, which is October 3rd, I believe. Which is homecoming. Right. Yep. And then we go to Stuttgart, to Heber. And then after that, we go, we're home for Riverview, CAC, and then we're at Southside India. Yeah. And so, it's a tough game. I mean, I've told you before, those first 5 games, you've got Valonia for the scrimmage, Nettleton, Greene County Tech, Sylvan Hills, And West Helena, that's
Wow.
5A schools last year.
Yeah.
You know, Helena's the only one. They dropped 4, but still they're going to be tough.
Tremendous challenge coming for a football team. I think that you guys as a coaching staff realize the challenge that's ahead of us. But not only is it a challenge, but it's a challenge each and every year to get a bunch of 15, 16-year-old kids to perform at a high level. I think our football team's ready to do something pretty spectacular. They can. It's there for us to get it done.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what we talk about is, you know, it's how they put in the effort, how they have their attitudes, and every day taking advantage of it. When they show up every day, taking advantage of the opportunity to be here to get better, whether we're running, lifting, practicing, what can we do to get better? Because we know our competition is high-level competition. It's going to be tough. So we have to be ready, and we have to be battle-tested. We've really been preaching the next man up. I mean, how many times this year we were in the middle of a game and somebody went down?
Sure.
And as soon as somebody went down, the next guy's got to be up and he's got to be ready to go.
Next man's got to be ready to go.
Yes.
Got to be ready. Coach, I'm excited about it. I mean, the closer it gets here, if you're watching at the end of the month, it's right around the corner, and it's right around the corner anyway. I get the pleasure of starting my 33rd year in the booth calling Greyhound football, and I'm as excited as I've been in the 33 years that I've done it. I'm looking forward to this year, the Newport Greyhounds.
Me too.
Coach Donnie Harrison, head football coach, athletic director. Good luck to us, my friend.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Go Hounds.
Go Hounds.
At Shelter Insurance, we've found that peace of mind offers some real advantages. That's why we work hard to make things easier for you. By sheltering your cars, by sheltering your home, by sheltering your toys, by sheltering your life. Peace of mind. Isn't that the best shelter there is? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Shelter Agent Mark Manning about Shelter's competitive insurance rates.
The area doctor of something. Comedy, laughter, what would you call it? Seriously, what do we do before we get on here? Tell everybody what we do before we get on.
We plot out a sensible business strategy.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We have been sitting here for 15 minutes that you didn't see. Thank goodness, of just what we were discussing.
If I were you,
about
I would
life.
demand that have like the director's cut come out on these.
Yeah, it would be a dandy, I guarantee you. This is the area doctor, Dr. Gavin McDowell, Customized Vision Care. And we do have some professional stuff that we could talk about today, but we're not going to.
What's the point of it?
I do want to ask you about you tell them about training. You tell everybody about what you're doing and training. Training for what? What you said you took a trip and you went 45 miles, and I said, well, I drove 100 miles the other day. What a big deal. And you said yours was on a bicycle and mine was in a car. So tell us what you're training for. Or what you're doing,
Well, I just do a lot of stuff. I try to stay active because I'm getting older,
Yeah.
And, it's important not only to take care of your eyes, but every other part of your body. You only get one body, so you got to take care of it. So I do a lot of triathlons and stuff like that. So just got off, had to try a little sprint triathlon a couple weeks ago. Then last weekend I did a 45-mile bike ride for Arkansas Ride for the Cure. Benefiting,
good deal.
breast cancer. My mom's a breast cancer survivor.
So. Good deal. All right, try, meaning the three, which are what?
Swim, bike, and run.
Okay, so you have to do all of that in the try.
You got to do all of
it. Different miles each time, or
it depends on the distances. Like the most recent ones, most of the early ones in the season are considered sprint distance, meaning we're swimming about a third of a mile, biking for about 13, then run for about somewhere between 3 and 6, but mostly 3 and 5. But you'll jump up to an Olympic. I have an Olympic distance triathlon coming up in September. I'm training for. What
is it? Yeah.
It's a 9/10 of a mile swim.
Okay. That's a long way.
That's a long way.
That's a long way.
And then I think a 20-mile bike ride, and then a 6-mile run.
Wow.
All in one time.
Well, and you have to have a pretty good idea of how your body trains and to get in
Yes.
shape and where you are. You just don't just jump into one of those and go, hey, I think I'm going to try to do one of those Saturdays.
No, I've been running a lot. I just got into the biking. This year was really the first year I got serious into it. Swimming, I swim with the kids bunch, but nothing like what I'm training for. But
so when you train, do you have a trainer? Or are you training on your own?
I got a training buddy that he's a pharmacist buddy of mine. We both keep each other, motivated and going stuff like that.
Always have to have somebody.
Yeah, it's hard to get up at 4:30 in the morning and go get in a pool in the middle of January.
Yeah.
When you don't have somebody who's holding you accountable for
Absolutely.
it. But we go off a lot of training plans, and I'm involved in a program over in Jonesboro right now called Project 90. It's a running workshop sort of thing. I did it last year. It kind of culminates. It's a 90-day program and teaches you how to run with proper form. And then at the end of that, we have a 60-mile run.
No, we don't.
You're invited. Come on over.
I'd be a good watcher.
Yeah,
you need some.
you can carry drinks for me or
Go,
something.
Doc,
Just
go.
Keep me motivated. Run behind me and sing, like the Rocky theme or something.
Drive behind you. I'll drive beside the pool. I'll just keep circling the pool.
There you go.
Go. We do need to talk a little business because that's what, and congratulations. I did not know that you were a triathlete.
Yeah,
That's wonderful. I mean, I knew you were athletic, you worked out, and some of that stuff can really be grueling. I mean, it can be grueling.
Well, don't get me wrong. The 45-mile ride I just did was all uphill, all into a headwind the entire day. It was hot. I tell you what. I hated the breeze when we were riding, but loved it when we were done. But
right.
It was realistically one of the toughest things I'd done. It's the mental aspect.
It is mental.
Of it,
Whoever put that on, did they ever think about maybe, you said it was uphill all the way, did they ever think about maybe starting up there and coming down?
That's exactly what I thought. We made this big loop, and I thought, if we'd done this backwards, I'd have coasted half the way.
Sir, that's what I'm thinking. What's the display here?
Coach.
Our
what
Coach
is Coach display? It's a fantastic frame line. It's very trendy. Women love it.
Yes, sir.
It's got name recognition, you know.
It does. It does.
But it's we got a great selection of the ophthalmic line and then sunglasses and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a popular line.
Well, and I would assume that it was established in 1941, since that's what that says. Right
you
there.
would be a very wise man to assume that.
When I come in here.
Surprisingly, though, you're wrong. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
Actually, it was 1927, but we couldn't advertise it until 1941. So, lots of lines, lots of different lines of vision care products that we have here, and it's the back to school time still. I mean, whether you're watching at the 1st of August or at the end of August, you're already in school, but we still have specials.
Exactly. We got our biggest package right now is single vision lenses and frame for $99. You can do the premium package, which is you get a lot of extra add-ons, quality things that make the lenses work better for you in a good frame. I think it's $199, but that's August 1st to September 15th. We run that every year. What that is basically a lot of our labs and distributors give us this little discounts, try to help us during this back to school. So I just try to pass that on to the patients. And what it really does, it helps those patients who, I'm trying to fill that gap, especially with the implementation of the ACA and all these other healthcare things. You get some of the coverage for eye benefits, but you don't get your materials covered for you. So people are having to pay out of pocket for this stuff, and some of that involves kids. And my big thing is a child should not fail for you to determine, they needed glasses all along.
Right.
So, get them in here before school. Let's make sure that everything works properly, because a kid can sit and watch TV all summer long and be fine and dandy, and they may have horrible vision, or they may have tracking problems with their eyes. Their eyes may not be working properly together.
And they don't know.
Don't know.
They don't know.
Don't know. So,
and they get in school and they try to read or try to look at a board or whatever, and then all of a sudden, grades, and they don't even know then. They just say, I can't get it.
Exactly.
And so, but that's what you guys do, the professionalism of making sure that kids can see and they can succeed in school. I mean, obviously that it's success in life is not determined by how well you do in school, but it certainly is a big issue on how you do in school. Opening up doors for you.
Exactly.
People need to do that. And again, and my most famous thing to ever talk about here, and the contact lens, we talk about it in almost every show, a guaranteed contact lens success program. If it doesn't work for you, you don't owe a thing.
Just walk away.
Walk away.
Throw your hands up.
Say thanks, Doc. And we're not going to let you try 9 million pair over the course of 3 years. But we're going to
we'll get close.
We'll fit
I've been close to that on a couple patients.
Well, we'll fit you with a good contact. Or you don't owe us.
I tell patients all the time, you will give up before I will. And some people are really hard to fit. And I'll be honest with you, if you're sitting in the chair and I find out your prescription's really crazy, I'm going to tell you, you need to adjust your expectations. You need to go into this eyes wide open. Contacts may not be the best thing for you. We're going to try. Sure. I'm not saying no.
Sure.
We're going to try, but I want you to be prepared that you may have some disappointment along the way. So.
And if you really want to be trendy with your eyewear, like I was, you can get these at this guy's place.
I'll double dare you to go back and look at some of the older programs and look at the difference of how he looked then and how much better he looks now.
There's no doubt about it. I got my stuff right here at Customized Vision Care with Dr. Gavin McDowell. Good to see you, my friend. As always, it is a pleasure.
It's a pleasure's all mine.
Sherry Hanley, and we are at Lindley. And I see your frog. I can't put a camera on it, but I see your frog. Sherry, tell us what's going on at Lindley Health and Rehab on a beautiful Friday afternoon.
Well, it is a beautiful Friday afternoon, David, so I thought, what better to do at Lindley than have bullfrog races today? And so that's what we've decided to do. The residents are excited. We are excited. We have our bullfrogs here in place. They're ready to go. They're jumping to go. And now I'd like to introduce the contestants. All right. Here we go. We've got Jenna Austin with her frog Kermit. We've got Haley Bethel with Pistol Shooting Annie. We've got Luann with Lucy Lou. We've got Billy Browning with Prince Charming. We've got Bo with Speedy. We've got Michelle with Hoppy Jones. And I have Croker here. And we've got Tasha with Tornado Taj. So it seems like we've got several contestants here. May the best frog win.
We got to get some rules and regulations, so let's hear the rules and regulations here.
Get that frog now. All right, rules. Y'all ready? Last time.
Listen up.
This is your rule. This is your starter line from right there to right there.
Right there.
Now, if you're a frog, you cannot goose your frog.
And you cannot step on them.
You don't step on them.
And
yes.
you cannot use it.
No, don't kick them. You cannot touch it. You can do this.
That's it.
You can do this.
That's
now,
it.
Now, if your frog jumps out of the line, you go catch it. You go back to the deal and start again. Okay, Carson, are you doing the start? On the count of 3, you flag them down. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Flag 'em.
Go. Who's got him? Get over here. Get that frog. Billy, grab your frog. Get your frog. Get your frog. Get your frog.
Okay, it's back out, Michelle.
All right, Jenna, come on, girl.
Oh, come on, pencil packet, mama.
Get your frog. Let's see what's going on here. Come on.
Whoa. Jenna, come in right here.
There you go, Haley. You're going, girl. You're going, Haley. Come on,
I don't know if I can touch
Come
him.
on, hon.
I swear I don't
Bring
know.
him on the finish line, Tasha.
Somebody take it. Take it.
Yours went under, didn't it?
That's nasty.
All right. Sherry had the first one. You come in.
Jenna, you
yeah, you come in
cheated.
second. You come in third. Let me see. Sandy, who come in first? Sherry come in second. She come in third. Bo come in first.
Bo is our winner.
Yeah, Bo is the winner. Bo, you won,
Now, Bo, you got a
honey.
prize,
Come
Bo.
on, there you go, Bo. go. You let them know you're the winner, honey.
Yeah. Good job.
Yay.
Hey, y'all, let's give them a hand. Come on, let's give them a hand. They did good.
Got her going, Bo. Got her going. Now
Okay,
then.
who's having frog legs for supper?
Yeah.
And also, Bo, you get to keep your frog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have it, Bo. You go get. You done a good job, honey.
Okay. Hey, this
Mom
works.
always told me I had to kiss a lot of toads to find my Prince Charming, so here goes nothing.
All right.
Sherry Hanley at Lindley Healthcare. Boy, we saw some great frog races, and you got to have great ideas, and you come up with some of the neatest stuff, and our residents have such a marvelous time to spend a little time doing some fun things, and this was another fun day at Lindley.
It is. You know, it's all about having fun here and doing something different. You know, we like to do different things, so I try to be very creative. And, you know, I know when they were a kid, you know, they probably had bullfrog races, so I thought, well, let's just have a bullfrog race. It's a beautiful day, and it was a lot of fun. For refreshments, we're having lily pad punch and toadstool cupcakes. So, you know, we're having a good time here at Lindley. There's a lot of excitement going on, as you can tell, but that's what it's all about. Lindley is about fun, family. You know, we're family, and we love to have fun.
Y'all are doing a marvelous job of keeping the residents involved, and it's a fun time, and we appreciate y'all letting us be a part of it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Lindley Health and Rehab, Lindley Lane, Newport. Interest rates still near historic lows, now's a great time to purchase a new home or refinance your existing loan. Call or go see Kenny Thaxton at ENG Lending for an evaluation of your existing mortgage or for a pre-qualification on a new home purchase loan. ENG Lending is a division of the Bank of England in England, Arkansas, which was chartered in 1898. They offer a full range of today's mortgage products such as USDA Rural Development, FHA, VA, and conventional financing. They offer 100% financing to qualified borrowers. ENG Lending offers great rates and unmatched customer service. Stop by today and see Kenny Thaxton with ENG Lending located in the Village Mall in Newport, or call him today at 870-495-3931. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 418481.
Hi everybody, I'm Bud Black and welcome to Let's Talk Some Sports. It's a service, of course, of ENG in the Newport Village Mall. And Kenny Thaxton and all the crew down there do a great job. If you're interested in a mortgage, a refinance, whatever, stop into the mall and see them at ENG. Well, let's talk a little football here. It's fall time. As you watch our program, most of you will be seeing it during the month of August into early September. Football, nothing like it. Nothing in the world, whether it's college football or high school football or professional football. And this year, this is a year of great change at the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville. Coming off a 3-9 season, any improvement would be a step in the right direction. The Hogs believe that they can win at least 5 games, maybe 6, maybe 7. That would be a complete turnaround from a 3-9, and I think everybody that's a Razorback fan, or everybody in the state would be thrilled to death to win 6 or 7 football games. But it is possible. This football team is going to be vastly improved. They're not going to be great. They're not going to win the SEC. They're not going to win the SEC West. but they're going to be better. And there are going to be some of those big ball games, I believe, especially later on down into the year, where they're competitive on the SEC. I don't think they're going to go winless this year in the SEC. Brandon Allen at quarterback, I know he was miserable last year because you got to remember the kid started out pretty well and then hurt his shoulder in the Southern Miss game and then played hurt the rest of the season, but got better as things went along. They say he's older, wiser, more experienced, more talented, throwing the ball better than ever. And Bielema says he's my quarterback and he's going to be a good one. They still have several great running backs that are SEC caliber. Of course, it comes down to offensive and defensive lines, and Arkansas's defense has been just gosh awful the last couple of years. They'll get better. Bielema's trying to install a Big Ten attitude with big linemen. If you look at the Big Ten and those big guys they have up front everywhere, he's trying to get that done at Arkansas. And probably, I'm not for sure, but probably having some success in doing it. It takes time to implement a new system. It takes time to do things against the norm when everybody's throwing the ball 55, 75 times a game, for you to want to throw it 15 or 20 and run it the rest of the time. But we'll give them another chance, another year, and see what happens. Over at Jonesboro, at Arkansas State, they're trying to continue to build on what has become a very, very mid-level, successful program in the country. They're winning a lot of football games. They're moving the football. It's been exciting. They think that even with a new coaching regime again this year, that they have enough talent, led by Freddie Knighton from down at Pulaski Academy at quarterback, to do some excellent things. Arkansas State has on its roster several preseason All-Americans. They're picked number 2 in the Sun Belt, which is a much improved football league, with the Louisiana Lafayette expected to be the champion. They're tough, but Arkansas State will have a chance against them. A-State has picked up some name opponents. They play at Tennessee. Don't count the Red Wolves out on a game like that. Anything can happen. And here in Newport, the excitement is really running wild and crazy because the Greyhounds are probably a great season or two from a couple of players away from really contending for a state championship. You look at the team and you say, we got talented people in skilled positions. We got a returning quarterback, Gunnar Bullard. You've got quality running backs. You have a spot or two in the offensive and defensive line that if those kids improve and come on like Coach Don Harrison believes they can, then anything can happen. This could be a really, really successful football team. They had success last year. They think they're going to be better. As a matter of fact, they believe that they can contend for a state championship. That all depends on injuries and luck and where you get seeded and who you have to play in the first couple of rounds of the playoffs. If you get through there, then you're on equal footing with most everybody else. So let's get all excited about getting over to Greyhound Field and seeing the basically new stadium, the new bleachers, and the beautiful AstroTurf field. You're going to be super impressed and amazed at it. It is absolutely beautiful, and we're pleased to be Greyhound fans and be a part of the new press box and the new stadium. It'll be fun to get over there and root for the Hounds. So football is upon us. It's a fun time of year. Hope you're going to enjoy it. I started to say, can't wait till that first blast of cool air bringing in fall, but all during June and July, it seems like that's all we had around here, that cool blast of air. But I'm ready for the leaves to start changing in September and October. It's the best time of the year. It's a good time to be around and be a Greyhound fan. I'm Bud Black. Thanks for watching.
Tara Salinas, Merchants of Platters Bank, downtown Newport, and we always get to talk about good things happening at our local bank right here in downtown Newport, out on the highway and throughout locations, northeast, north central Arkansas. What's up, girl?
Well, always something good going on.
I guarantee you.
We've always got good stuff to report. We're doing a little remodeling out at the north office. If our customers have been in and kind of gotten a little dusty or saw some stuff laying around on the floor, we apologize for the inconvenience. or pardon our progress, I guess I should say.
There you go.
But yeah, we're kind of getting a facelift out there, making it a little nicer and more modern, and you know, just to welcome our customers a little better.
Speaking of a facelift out there, and excuse me for interrupting, but that just kind of reminds me of many years ago when I used to walk into this bank here in downtown Newport. You talk about when y'all remodeled several years ago, man, y'all you did okay, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, you know, if you're gonna do it.
Progress.
All right. Do it all the way. So.
What else is happening down here at the bank?
Oh gosh. Well, let's see. We just wrapped up kind of a little seminar on elder abuse.
Okay.
June the 15th was World Elder Abuse Day, and you know, here we take a lot of precautions. Invest a lot of our staff's time and technology dollars to. Ensuring, you know, that people do not fall victim to identity theft or fraud or scams and everything. Very important to us here because it is such a problem, and unfortunately, there are terrible people out there that want to take your money.
Right.
And so we, like I said, from a banking standpoint, we feel like we've got it covered here. But we also feel like it's our job to educate the public, the community, and in particularly this month, the elder community, about what they can do on their part to help ensure it doesn't happen to them.
It happens all too often, and especially in when you talk about when folks who are really not technologically advanced, and that includes me and most of us at my age and older, and we do fall victim to some of the things that, if you're just starting out on a computer and you really don't know how to work, and then all of a sudden somebody sends you an email that says, hey, you can get $6,000 here. All you got to do is send in $150.
Right.
We'll send you $6,000 because you won the sweepstakes of the blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And lots of people send $150 in and they don't get their $6,000.
Unfortunately, these folks that do this are very good at what they do.
Absolutely.
That's their living, so they invest all their time into it, and so they're gonna, kind of play at your emotions and offer you something you can't refuse.
Right.
But what we are trying to tell people and spread the word is, if it sounds too good to be true, it always is. Never trust it. If you win something that you didn't register for or apply for, that's a red flag.
You probably didn't win, did you?
Or if you win something and you have to send some money in for it, that's not a legit thing either. If you, have to pay for it, you didn't win it. But like I said, they're very good at even, with the older community or the ones that are in assisted living facilities and things like that, they'll call and pretend to be, from a government agency or there's a lot of stuff happening now where they will call and be distraught and say that their grandkids or
absolutely happened in our family. Absolutely.
And they need money and they'll be crying so they can kind of disguise their voice, and then they'll get the police officer on the phone and say, oh, you need to send the money here, and so that's happened a lot. Facebook, people that are newly getting on Facebook, there's communities for people who are, grieving, or, I just saw something on the news the other day about a lady that she went through the tornadoes in Bologna. She lost a son. She was kind of reaching out, needing some comfort, got involved in with the group who was obviously there to scam people. She lost a lot of money because she put her trust in someone because, again, they were playing on her emotions.
Absolutely.
So, it's terrible. And like I said, I think these people are just, horrible people, and they'll, I'm sure, get what's coming to them. But we've got to make sure our community is aware of what's going on and know how to, to prevent it happening to them.
Great that Merchants and Planters Bank is doing that and spreading the word out there to the community about this, what you might need to look at, and so on and so forth.
Yes, and so like I said, we are glad to come to talk to any community groups, civic groups, organizations. If anyone's interested in having us come and talk about this, we'll be glad to. Give me a call here at the bank, and we'll get something set up. But just for the audience here, for now, a couple of things, again, that we've talked about. If it's too good to be true, don't trust it. If somebody calls you or emails you and asks for personal information, do not give it to them. As your financial institution, we'll never call or email and ask for that because we have it.
Right.
That we have that information. So if someone's asking you to send it to them or give it to them on the phone, hang up. And if there's a question, hang up and call that whoever they're saying they're with, call them back directly. Or like when you're going online, don't ever click on a link to something. If you go to our website, type our website in. Don't try to go onto it from a link that somebody sent to you, because people can change things up, and you can go somewhere you're not supposed to go, and they can get your information from there. You can put your phone number or your cell phone on the do not call list to kind of limit those calls. That number is 888-382-1222. Call that number, put yourself on the do not call list. That way, like I said again, kind of at least limits the number of calls you get. And just make sure you monitor your account closely, all of your accounts, your checking account, your savings account, credit cards. Check those statements and make sure you don't see anything funny on it. If you do, contact your bank and your financial institution immediately. Like I said, there's a ton of information. We have it on our website as well, if you want to go there and look at our website and read some stuff. Or like I said, give us a call and we'll be glad to come and talk to you or your groups about it.
MNPbank.com.
MNPbank.com.
Yeah,
that's
lots
it.
of information on the web too.
Yes.
Just a real quick story. I got a phone call this morning. It was from Louisiana, and I thought it might have been a call on an automobile that I was trying to sell. But anyway, I answered the phone, and the guy says, "This is Al Green from Ocean." And I thought, oh, here's a good one right here from Ocean. Said, "You haven't signed up for your safety deals for the year." Said, your safety training for the year. And I said, "What?" I kind of acted dumb. I said, "Well, what kind of safety training am I supposed to sign up for?" Said, "Well, Mr. Blake, you're in the construction business, aren't you?" And I said, "Well, no, sir." He said, "You don't put cable down?" I said, "Put cable down?" He said, "Yeah, are you not one of those guys that goes into certain counties and puts down cable underground?" I said, "No." He said, "Are you cable 15?" I said, "It's cable 15 TV." I said, "I'm a television station." And he was legit. He was legit. I'd heard from him a couple of years ago, and I said, "Well, I'm cable TV, so not just cable construction company." But sometimes, and really, even that, sometimes if you see a number that you don't know, a lot of times I don't answer it.
I'm the same way, and let them, if they want to leave a voicemail, and like I said, maybe check it out before you call them back. They're out there, and like I said, you would think if they're smart enough to do stuff like this, they could probably make a living doing something amazing.
Absolutely.
But they devote their time and their talents to this, unfortunately. So, everybody just has to be on guard all the time.
Well, I'm glad Merchants and Planters Bank is at the forefront in helping prevent this elder financial abuse, as we call it, because it does happen. Good to see you, Tara Salinas.
Good to see you too.
Everything's lovely for the summer, and you got the rest of the summer planned out.
Oh,
before you know it, it'll be football season.
Pretty much. We're ready for that.
It's
too.
coming. It's coming. Let's continue on with more of the Business Spotlight. Well, I get to visit with my good friend Tommy Bain at Farmers Tire Mart each and every month, and when we got to film this month, it was a scorching day on the outside of about 88 degrees.
88 degrees.
Well, we talk a lot about the weather, and it warmed up a little bit. It might be 91 out here, but it's a pleasant day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Really nice.
The Farmers Tire Mart slogan is, we're just going to take care of everybody.
Amen.
What do you guys do here? What all do y'all do?
We do tires.
Tires.
We do alignments.
Yeah.
We do brakes, and we do shocks, struts, and the suspension work, your tie rod end, all your linkages, and axles, CV joints, and windshield wipers, and all the necessary components that make the car run down the road.
Make them run, and of course, tires are, we're Farmers Tire Mart. We've talked often on the show about we do more than farmers. We're open to the general public, and we like to sell car tires and truck tires. And if you need a tire, if it's made of rubber and it's round and it goes on something that moves, we probably have an opportunity to get it, don't we?
We do, and but there is one line of tires I cannot get.
What is that?
Motorcycle.
Really?
They will not let us have a motorcycle tire.
Well, that's okay.
It has to come through a dealership.
Okay.
And I have to buy some from a dealership.
Absolutely,
once in a while
absolutely.
for my customers, but that's one of those necessary evils.
Yeah, you can't maybe not get it through the manufacturer, but you can get it from a dealer and take care of your customers, as you say.
Right.
Tommy, talk about taking care of people's automobiles, because it's, when you get into the heat of the summer, we're going to have some heat. We're going to have some heat in August and September, and it's always good to come in and get fluid levels checked and the things that y'all do to keep a car maintenance ready.
Absolutely. We do. We service the engine, oil, lube, and filter, and we service transmissions where they're serviceable, and we service all your components that has fluid in them, power steering and radiators. We do all that, and we check all those things when we do a service for the customer. And one thing that we often neglect as a vehicle operator, and that is our windshield wipers.
Yeah, yeah.
They're exposed to all the elements, winter, summer, spring, and fall.
Right.
And they're out there in the elements, and we don't even think about them until we need them.
You never think about them on a day like today.
No.
You never think.
But they're sitting right there against that hot windshield.
Absolutely.
And that's not good on that rubber.
Right.
So we check those things as well, and bring to the customer's attention that they are splitting or whatever the case may be, and give them the opportunity to replace them right now.
Right.
Instead of waiting.
Well, you're down on the road, and a rainstorm comes up, and then you hit them one time, and you go, oh, I meant to replace them, and I didn't, and now I can't see, so now you got to pull over the side of the road, which is a hazard in itself, and we don't normally ever think about that until you turn them on, but y'all check them here. Taking care of people's automobiles, whether it's the harsh of winter or the heat of summer, I mean, it's what you guys do, and when it comes to tires, Tommy, if we don't have what somebody's looking for, if they come in and I mean, you can get tires.
I get tires overnight.
Absolutely.
Next day service. If I don't have them in stock, and Dave, I've got a bunch of them in stock.
Right.
A bunch of dollars, and we try to have the most popular thing that's being used right now.
Absolutely.
But there is times that we don't have that, but we can get them the next day.
Well, if folks are looking for service on your automobile, the things that Tommy talked about, keeping that thing ready to go. If you're looking for tires for your truck or your car or whatever the case may be, your lawnmower or your ATV, we've got tires. We'd love for you to come by and do a little business with us.
We have them. Yes, we do. And tractor tires, implement tires, disc tires, and all kinds of implement tires, and even big truck tires.
Sure.
Over the road trucks, we keep those, and we do a lot of those. And I don't know if this is something relatively new that we have started doing, and that is balancing these big truck over the road truck tires. We're capable of doing that now.
Good deal.
So and trucker friends are listening, are watching. We have that available now.
Good deal.
So we try to have what we need to take care of our customers.
Well, if you need tires, you need automobile service, we recommend Farmers Tire Mart. Great place to do business, been doing it a long time. Tommy Bain, always a pleasure to get to see you, my friend. And what is it that you always say about Farmers Tire Mart?
1501 Malcolm Avenue is where the rubber meets the road.
Come see us at Farmers Tire Mart. We're at the campus of the University of Arkansas Community College in Batesville. It's always a pleasure to come look at this beehive of activity that's always happening, and we're filming for our August program, and Kristen Cross has joined us and to talk about several things that are happening, especially from her end. But Kristen, first of all, tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Well, I did graduate from Batesville High School some number of years ago and moved off to college, and my husband and I were able to come back to Batesville, and I've been at UACCB close to 10 years. So,
wow.
And I work in the financial aid office now.
So being in the financial aid office, tell us just exactly what's your title there, and what do you do? What happens in the financial aid office that we would need to know?
Okay. I'm the director of financial aid, and we process federal, state, and institutional aid. We help students fill out the federal application, the free application for student aid. And that's kind of the big focus when students first come to us. And once we get that established to see what they're eligible, if it's a Pell Grant or a student loan or something like that, then we can talk more about scholarships. There are state scholarships that were available to high school seniors especially, and also to some non-traditional age students. And we do have some institutional scholarships as well that we work with students usually earlier in the spring, but we're working to get those awarded at this point in time.
I think it's so important when people start to college and they come to the college campus, because they probably don't know the amount of dollars that are available out there for them, and it's all a qualifying process, and that's what y'all do. You hear this term, and I think you might have mentioned it, FAFSA. You hear that a lot. Say, have you applied for FAFSA? You got to apply for FAFSA. Elaborate on that particular program in itself and tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, that is through the U.S. Department of Education.
Okay.
It's kind of the starting point. We use families' 2013 tax return income, the previous year's tax return income, and it's based on that, plus how many people live in your house, how many students you'll have in college, just a number of things. And they have this very complicated formula that they use to then give us a number that lets us know what the student is eligible for. And some students are eligible for as much as $2,800 a semester if they are a lower income family and things like that. So it's what we feel like it goes a long way at UACCB because it's an affordable cost, and so Pell Grants usually will stretch and go pretty much the whole distance for students as far as paying for their tuition and buying books and things like that for the majority of our students.
Yeah, Pell Grant is the other one that you hear a lot on a college campus when you start talking about money, and other scholarship monies are available, as you mentioned, and certainly with the cost of college is, I mean, it's just like anything else in this world. I mean, has inched up as we go along, and certainly lots of avenues for money there that y'all offer at UACCB.
Right. We look at students, for institutional scholarships, we look at students' ACT scores and things like that. State scholarships are basically based on ACT scores, as well as sometimes classes students take while they're in high school and things like that. So those test scores are very important, and we kind of use those to give students that recognition for that hard work that they've done in high school.
If you are interested in coming to school at UACCB, or you've been in college before and you want to restart your college career, and you want to visit with with you guys about financial aid, how do they do that? Do they come on campus? Do they call? Do they email? How do they get in touch with you?
You can do it in a number of ways. We're glad to have students come in the office. We have a couple of computers that you can use to sit down and complete your FAFSA. It only takes probably about 20 minutes or so to complete one typically. If you don't have the internet at home, we're always glad to help out. It is an online application, so students are welcome to do that from the privacy of their own home if you choose to do that. And then you can always call us if you have questions, email us if you have questions. Our website has a financial aid link that you can send an email directly to, and I get those and respond to them. So we're glad to help out however we can. That's one thing we want to make sure that students and parents understand. It is a little bit of an overwhelming process at first, but we are most glad to help in any way that we can.
Well, and it needs to be. I mean, if the government is providing money or so on, or other institutions are providing money, and you've got to cross all your T's and dot all your I's to get it done and make sure you do it right. But money available at UACCB Absolutely. If you want to go to school.
It's not too late to apply for the fall, so we'd love to help you.
Hey, I appreciate you taking time to join us on a beautiful, beautiful week. I mean, the weather's just been absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be 85 degrees and 79 degrees tomorrow in Batesville, Arkansas.
Unbelievable.
At the end of July. It is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Kristen Cross, appreciate you so much for taking time to join us.
Thanks so much. Appreciate
Let's continue on with more of our show. We're at UACCB in Batesville. At the Jackson's Funeral Home, Karen Hunt joins us to talk a little bit about services that you guys provide here in Jackson's Funeral Home. Been doing it for many, many years. And welcome, Karen Hunt.
Thank you.
So what's going on at Jackson's Funeral Home? Website, I'm always on the website. Let's take a little time and talk about the Jackson's Funeral Home's website.
Well, we've gotten a new website within the last couple of years, and they're constantly updating it and changing it. If you want to keep up with the current obituaries, services, I update those every day as we make arrangements. As things change, I upload new information. You can go there, you can light a memorial candle. You can, of course, read the obituary, send a condolence. There's also a place in there for certain charities where you can make an online donation, which is really good for people who are out of state or out of town and can't come, but still want to do something. So it's just really nice.
Well, and not only nice, I mean, it's logical. It's very logical in the sense that if you can't come to the funeral, or if you can't come to the visitation and you want to send a message to the family, you can do it right there on the website. I think it's so neat. And tell us about lighting the candles. What exactly does that do? Tell us about that.
Well, when you light a memorial candle, at the top of each person's particular page, there are memorial candles. And you light an electronic candle. When you do that, you leave a message of hope or condolence. Also, the family can go in later if they choose to and print those out and save those to a memory book. I do know that probably 80% of our families check that website religiously for a few days following the services or up to a few months. You can sign up to be notified for an anniversary date. If there's someone you want to send a card after a year or something like that. It's very easy to navigate, which is really important.
You bet it is.
When you go to the main site, everything is lined up on one side. You can see exactly where you need to go. Once you get in there, you can go to our service page. You can look at new services. You can look up old services. You can read about prearrangement. You can read about the offerings that we have. You can see pictures of caskets and things like that. So it's very informative as well.
Yeah, and when you go to the website, and by the way, the website address is
www.jacksonsfh.com.
jacksonsfuneralhome.com. And it says the different sites that you can go to, the one here in Newport and then the other other locations. And I just think it's constructed well. I think it's very informative. It's very neat to have something like that at your fingertips, and it's another way that people can stay in contact with what we call this social media. If you don't, people don't do social media, but you do social media because that's what it is. That is, you're trying to dispense information. It's a great way to do it with the technology that we have, cell phones, computers, and such.
That's true. And another thing that just made me think of, when you go in to a certain person's page, there is an option to share their book of memories on Facebook.
Right.
So if you learn that a classmate or a friend has passed away and you see it on our website, you can share it on your Facebook. And that way everyone in your friends list can see it as well.
And it's hard to do that because you have to hit a button.
That's right.
You usually have to hit a button.
At least one.
At least one, and it generally shares that link. And it's amazing, being in the television industry and technology has always been over my head. And people would talk about, we'll link to that, or we'll link to that. And I thought, that sounds like a lot of work. You link something to this, and you go. You press
Not anymore.
No, you press a button, and usually you might have to press 2 and might have to type in something, but it's relatively simple to get to. You mentioned prearrangement. Of course, we Jackson's Funeral Home want to talk to people about prearrangement.
Absolutely. Prearrangement is one of the smartest things you can do, because it locks your prices in on service and merchandise at today's price. We know that, with inflation and everything, things are getting expensive more quickly. Your interest rates at the bank aren't paying that well.
That's correct.
So you're not making money on your money in the bank. Besides locking the price in and making sure that your family does not have a financial burden, it takes a lot of the emotional burden away. Because you don't have to worry about what Mama wanted if she's already chosen what she wanted. It also gives us the opportunity to take a lot of information, because there are things that I've done or you've done, or all of us, that our kids may not know. Successes we had while we were in college, or BK, before kids.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of good that can come of prearrangement.
Well, and to do prearrangement or to talk to you guys about prearrangement, how do we do that? Who do we come see? We call? We email? What do we do?
You can call our office here at 523-5822. You can set up an appointment. I can mail information to you. I can email information to you. Typically, we do ask that you call and make an appointment, only because we don't want you to get here and everyone's on funerals or here or there. But normally the same day is fine. Call us in the morning, say, can you see me this afternoon? Sure. And if you can't come up here, we can come to you. We can set a time.
Good deal.
It's 7 days a week. I meet a lot of people who work during the week on Saturday afternoon, Sunday between church, whatever they want to do.
It never fails whether it's me in business or pleasure or whatever the case may be. If I can get more information done talking on the phone or talking one-on-one than I can with a text message or an email, because I'll send an email and then I'll get an answer back on the email and then I'll go, well, now I've got 4 more questions.
That's right.
But if I were sitting there in front of somebody and I asked them the question and they gave me that, then I could ask those questions immediately.
Right.
Sometimes, even though as quick as it is, it might slow me. I think it slows me down, but it really doesn't. But the technology makes it real quickly, because sometimes you call and somebody's busy and they can't talk to you, but well, they can send you a text message real quick. They can't talk, but yes, I will do that, blah, 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 blah. But you guys got it going on at Jackson Funeral Home. And Karen, I appreciate you taking time to visit with us once again.
Thank you.
Karen Hunt, she's at Jackson's Funeral Home. We're at the 1900 block of Malcolm Avenue, where we've been for a long, long time. Let's continue on with more of our show. At Harris Hospital in Newport, Arkansas, it's not unusual to have a Dr. Green. We've had a history of Dr. Greens, matter of fact, a couple of them really, and we have another. Dr. Allison Green joins us here on the program, and welcome, girl.
Thank you.
And welcome back to Newport, Arkansas.
Thank you. It's good to be home.
I bet it is. Talk a little bit about Allison, about some training, and let's talk about where you've been the last several years and what got you to get back to Newport, Arkansas.
Okay. Well, I graduated high school from Newport in 2003, so I haven't been home in a long time. But I started out with undergraduate degree, went to Jonesboro and finished up there in 2007, the degree in biology. And then I went on to Little Rock, so I spent 4 years in Little Rock, graduated medical school in 2011.
Okay.
So I got my MD then, so that was 3 years ago. And since then I've been in Jonesboro completing a residency in family medicine. So I just finished that in June, and now I'm ready to practice.
Well, and practice and what doctors do, and I know you're excited to be back and be in the same office as your dad, Dr. Roger Green, who's been here for many, many years, and Barbara, your sister, just right down the hall from you. And so you guys are, I know you're excited to get going. Tell us a little bit about what you do and who you treat and what type of patients that you're trying to see.
Well, I am board certified in family medicine, so a lot like Dad does. Yeah. We specialize in preventative care and taking care of everybody from the newborn up to grandma, grandpa, great-grandma, great-grandpa, so and everything in between. So my goal is to keep people out of the hospital.
Absolutely.
To prolong life, and make sure the kids are on the right track, vaccinations, and doing things to keep themselves healthy and starting out the right way, and then just kind of everywhere in between there. So,
well, let me ask you this. Did you know early on, or when did you know? When did you decide maybe that you wanted to be a doctor? Was that something? I mean, obviously you've been around it all your life, and that quote, that lifestyle, whatever. But when did you decide? Do you remember?
I wanted all my life to be a doctor. I took some little detours on the path. I started out actually as a music education major.
Wow.
So I wanted to be a teacher of music, and that lasted for 1 semester. And got back on track to wanting to be a doctor again, because I just felt like it was sort of built into what I was supposed to do. So basically, ever since I can remember, it was my plan.
Right.
So as far as family medicine goes, there are a lot of specialties out there to choose from, and when I got exposed to all of them, I always found myself coming back to what Dad did.
Right.
So family medicine is sort of close to my heart for that reason, and also just because I feel like it's where we can make the most difference. So
tell me, why Newport, Arkansas? Why did you decide to come home to get your start in this business?
Well, like you said, it is coming home. So there's a lot to be said for that. The welcome here has been great already, and I haven't even started yet. So there's a lot to be said about coming home. Newport's a great town. It was very good to me where I was raised and where I got my start. So I feel like it's time to try to give back a little bit.
Well, not only home, but at Harris Hospital, our hometown hospital, and I know that you're excited to get going, and you've been, quote, on the job. It's just that when we filmed at the very end of July, we we physically hadn't opened up yet, but as you watch in the month of August, we're accepting patients. And what do we have to do to get an appointment to see you?
Well, you can call 870-523-9852 and schedule an appointment with me. I'm happy to see new patients. Like I said, all ages, babies, children, adolescents, adults, and the elderly. So that number is the way you get a hold of me, and I'll be happy to talk to you. So
another Dr. Green at Harris Hospital. The tradition continues at Harris Hospital and at Dr. Green's office on McLean Street. Allison, thank you so much for taking time to visit with us.
Thank you.
Let's continue on with more of our show. Margaret Goodman, who will talk about Senior Circle and lots of things going on. And usually I have to interview folks and prod them along to try to answer questions. But here I just say, Margaret,
here you go.
Here you go. Tell us what's going on in Senior Circle.
We have a full month. On Friday the 8th, I'm just going to kind of go over the calendar.
Sure.
But on Friday the 8th, Ball Knob Senior Center, which is located on 4th Street in Ball Knob, you know, we've kind of joined with them and we do bingo there every month. Well, they're going to have a health fair. And we have lots of people here in Newport. I know Lindley Healthcare is one of them. They're going to be there. They're going to have a presence at the health fair. So if you got a few minutes, it starts at 10 o'clock and I think it's over like at 2. So just come on down to Ball Knob and go to the health fair.
Okay.
On Saturday, we're going to be very sinful and we're going to go to Tunica.
Okay.
See if we can win money.
Yes, gamblers.
Gamblers, big time. On Monday the 11th, we have a blood drive. Red Cross has a blood drive here in the community room from 12 to 4. Please come. And you just talk to Miss Allison Green. We're going to have a reception for her, and she probably talked about that a little bit.
Well, we didn't mention it, but now you can.
Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
We are going to have a reception for her on the 12th at 2 o'clock in the community room. So come on out and make her feel part of the community. We're so excited about having her on board.
Yes, absolutely.
On the 19th, Dr. Fuentes is going to do osteoporosis lunch and learn here in the community room. Everybody needs to know about that. I don't care what your age is.
Right.
And our Healthy Woman event, please sign up for that. We are so thrilled to have such a big name come to Newport.
Absolutely.
And we're just real excited about that. The tickets are $35. If you want to go backstage, meet and greet with her, there's only 100 of those tickets available. Those are $55. If you need to, you got to go online to register. But if you have problems with your internet or you're just uncomfortable doing that, if you'll come see Rebecca or I, we'll gladly help you do that. Okay. On the 29th, our auxiliary, our little pink ladies, you know, they're constantly doing fundraisers, and we're real excited about this. We got Dillard's coming in here, and they're going to bring all kinds of things, men's polos, men, women, children's. They're going to have a wide variety of things. We want everybody in Newport and anywhere else that, you know, just can't get to Jonesboro. Come over here and purchase your items. You can get gift cards that they do not expire. You can use them at Christmas time. That way you can benefit Christmas yourself and also our volunteers.
And when is that?
That's August 29th.
The 29th, okay.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that.
Good deal.
I want to talk just a second about 2 trips that we've got coming up. New England tour is September the 16th through the 24th. We're going to be in Boston for 4 days. We're going to visit the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library.
Yes.
I'm excited about this. I can't wait for the fall foliage. Lexington and Concord, which is the birthplace of the American Revolution, where you heard the shot heard around the world, that kind of thing. We're going to go to Salem to the witchcraft trials. They may keep a few of us. Then we're going to go on to Gloucester, which is located in Cape Ann, and we're going to see these beautiful lighthouses. That's what they're known for. And then we're going to go to Hershey, Pennsylvania, where we're all going to buy chocolate at the Hershey factory. So anybody wants chocolate, just call us and we'll pick it up and bring it back for you.
That's the real stuff.
That's the real deal. We're going to be sick smelling all that chocolate. The cost for that is $905 for 2, or if you want to just go by yourself, it's $1165. The last day to participate or to let me know that you want to go is August the 10th. And
now, is the 905, I mean, is that for?
Everything.
Okay, cool.
That's everything. That's your hotel, your transportation. We'll take a big bus, and everything that we do. And this is just a little list of the things that we're going to be doing. So
okay,
it's going to be pretty awesome. In October, the 23rd through the 25th,
we're tripping again.
Yes, we're tripping again, and we always go to Branson. My little seniors just love to go to Branson. But we're going to depart here on the 23rd. We're going to go to the Sight and Sound Theater and do a behind-the-scenes tour, the Dixie Stampede dinner and show. We're going to see Jonah.
Yeah.
They say that's pretty awesome. Joseph Hall, the Elvis Experience. We actually saw this last year, and I have a couple of ladies, and they knew who I'm talking about. They were beside themselves over this cute little Elvis. I mean, he can't be 25 years old, and he shakes just like Elvis. And this year they have asked to be on the front row. So
really,
yeah, we may have some heart problems.
Well, you know what he'll tell y'all while they're down there on the front row for y'all coming.
Oh,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's right. That's exactly right.
Oh, thank you very much.
That's right. We're going to get to see Clint Black. He very seldom comes to Branson.
Yeah.
We're going to get to see him while we're there, and then the New Jersey Knights. And of course, we can't leave Branson without some shopping.
Right.
This trip is $475 for a double and $525 for single, and that includes everything. Good so deal. We're going to be doing some traveling.
Hey, you guys travel. You guys have a great time when you do.
Yes,
it is a
we
great
do.
Organization. We haven't talked a lot about Senior Circle recently on the program. Tell us if you want to be involved. How do you get to be a member of Senior Circle?
You call me at 870-512-3030. Costs $15 per person or $27 for couple a year, and you get a numerous amount of discounts.
Yeah, pays for itself.
It does.
First time you
really
use it, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. We are so excited because we got vision, dental. We have everything that is offered to our seniors at a discount, and it just makes their life better and easier, and that's what it should be. You know, Harris Hospital is
great program.
Yes,
it's a great program.
Very, very great program. Of course, it's very close to my heart. I love it. But anyway, we are excited about these new trips coming up.
Good deal.
The New England trip, you know, is going to be awesome. It's going to be in the fall foliage type of the year, so we're excited about both of them.
I bet you are.
Yeah, we are.
She's Margaret, and see, I told you, all I've got to do is just introduce her and let her tell you about all the exciting things they're having at Senior Circle at Harris Hospital. Thanks, girl.
Thank you.
And happy 40-year reunion
yes,
to you.
Which is coming up October the 3rd. So
yes, it is.
Anybody out there that sees this and is our class member, give David a call.
Call us. And that number is 0000000. It's 870-512-8427. We'll give you the details on the reunion. Great pleasure to be at St. Michael's Place, Pecan Street in Newport, and visiting with folks that are instrumental in good things that not only go on here, but go on throughout the community. And folks, if you don't know, let me introduce to you Miss Velma Bobo, a lady who is has her husband who is at the St. Michael's facility. And first of all, before we talk about St. Michael's, let's talk a little bit about Miss Bobo and tell us a little bit about you, where you were born, and kind of what happened the first few years of your life.
Okay, I was born in Oliphant, Arkansas, and we moved from Oliphant when I was about 5 years old. I grew up in that little country, and I went to high school some here in Newport. I didn't complete it, but okay. I went to high school some here in Newport. I got married at an early age. You know, you just think nothing else is going on. You just got to get married.
You got to get married. That's the thing to do, isn't it? That's the thing to do.
I was married 2 years before I had any children, and so I'm the parent of, we are the parents of 10 children.
10 children.
And
everybody knows some of the Bobos. I mean, everybody in when you say Bobo, that name is just synonymous to Tuckerman and Newport and Jackson County. I mean, there are a few Bobos around that we all know.
Oh yes,
good family, good folks.
Yeah. But anyhow, we lived a pretty good life.
Right, good deal.
And we raised the children and all finished high school except one child.
Okay.
About 6 finished college.
Wow.
I had 6 children that went into military. And they're scattered.
I bet they are. Yeah, they usually do.
They just different places. So we just, you know, just common people and just love people.
Yes, ma'am.
I love everybody. I don't know anybody that I don't love. And it keeps me busy.
I bet it does.
In the community and in school and whatever.
Well, what all do you do? Now, we were talking, and I know that you do a lot of volunteer work, and you're talking about in the community and at the school. Kind of give me an example of what you might do when you do your volunteer work.
Okay, what I do for volunteer, I help the children in the school.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
And last year, well, I had been working with the second grade and third grade children, but last year, the lady over these 3 and 4-year-old, she saw something in me. She wanted me down with those babies.
Okay.
So I worked there with those babies and enjoyed every moment. It gave me something to do, to get up and be with those babies. And they love me and I love them.
I bet. Well, if you've raised 10 of your own, and then when they grow up and move on and do some of the great things that they have done, then it gives you something, a peace of mind to go in and watch children and help children and see how they respond to your kindness and your love. And you're doing a lot of good volunteer work, it sounds like.
Yeah, and I do some volunteer work at the assisted living in Tuckerman.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if you would call this volunteer visiting people in the community, and if they need any aid or any something, I help out there.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know what all I...
You do a lot, I know. You do a lot.
And I love to come here, and if I see some need that somebody need, even assisting somebody going down the hall and they're tired.
Yes, ma'am.
Assist them in taking them to the room, or help putting the bib over those just before dinner. Assist those that are having problem eating or something. I love to do that. I just love to see everybody happy.
And you come to visit Mr. Bobo, who is at the facility here at St. Michael's and has been for several years, and spend some time with him. And then while you're here and visiting, and you do just that, whether you call it volunteer work, I like to call it service. You give a service to those people that you're giving back to the community, to a community that you love dearly. I mean, you get so much satisfaction. And I know that the folks at St. Michael's Place love having you come and do your volunteer work here and your service work in, because they brag about you all the time. And we've been trying to get you on for an interview, and we finally got it all done. And I know it's important to you.
It is very, very important. And if I can help any way at all, I would be happy to do that. Really, they're doing a great job with my husband. They're doing, he's at a stage where, you probably can't understand what he says, but I let him know that I'm here.
Absolutely.
We have been married 65 years.
Wow.
And so.
Wow. 65 years.
That's right.
You did get married real young, didn't you? 65. Well, congratulations on that length of time, and again, on behalf of St. Michael's Place, I know they appreciate you so much for the service that you give to these folks out here, because you're not only giving to St. Michael's, you're giving to the residents, and that means so much to these residents and their families to know that they're going to be taken care of when they come to this facility, and then there's going to be so many volunteers like you who come and give the little extra kindness. And Ms. Bobo, we want to thank you so much for taking time to visit with us. Anything else you need to tell us today? Anything that you need to say? Do you need to say anything about me and my brothers, or are you good to say?
Well, it's I don't know if his name was David. He was heavy set.
I'm David, and Bud's the oldest. He's the oldest, and he was the radio guy for a long time.
Radio,
He was a radio guy and TV guy for a long time.
Okay, well, he's the radio guy.
He's the radio guy, that's right.
And that's
we talked about our family before we got on the air here.
Okay.
And of course, story of my life is that, are you Bud? No, I'm not. Well, then who are you?
Yes.
Well, I'm David. I'm just one of them. But
well, I just want you to know that I am from a big family.
Yes, ma'am.
My dad lived to be 105, and my mother was 98.
Wow.
And they taught us to love everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know anybody that I don't love. They opened we had a table longer than this table. It probably, I don't know, probably was a maid table, I don't know. We didn't have a lot of chairs and things. They had benches, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
And anybody that was hungry, you was welcome to come and sit down and
got
have
a chance to
eat. And our parents taught us to love everybody. And so I guess it just blended in me to love everybody. I don't know anybody that
Right, absolutely.
don't, you know.
Well, you keep on giving. You just keep on giving. And the world would be a better place if there were a few more people like Velma Bobo in it, I can promise you that. Thank you so much for visiting with us.
Thank you so much.
Velma Bobo at St. Michael's Place, and this lady is a treasure not only in Jackson County, but throughout the state of Arkansas and throughout mankind. Continuing on with the business spotlight in Batesville and Newport, and Mr. Ted Hall joins us once again from White River Area Agency on Aging, and this is Sheila Gates from Eagle Mountain Assisted Living. And first of all, Mr. Ted, tell us where we are and tell us a little bit about Eagle Mountain here.
I'll be glad to. Hey, great having you with us today.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, listen, one of the things that I'm so excited about being a part of the White River Area Agency on Aging is tell the story that we have. And you know, we do a lot of things for a lot of people. And at Eagle Mountain Assisted Living, this is just one area that we have to offer seniors. And we have our executive director, or our director of the Eagle Mountain Assisted Living today with us, Sheila Gates. And she is a great lady, and she runs this place just like it's her own home, and she takes care of people. And we have a lady over here, the receptionist named Robin Milligan from Cave City, and she is a partner with Sheila, and everybody here understands we're here to serve people and serve our clients. Now, we're going to let Sheila talk about the history of Eagle Mountain Assisted Living. Again, we are a well-kept secret. A lot of people have no idea that we do this. So Sheila, why don't you just talk about when this was started and just anything else that you want to talk about.
Okay. Eagle Mountain Assisted Living opened in March of 2006. We have 48 suites here, and we are licensed for 48 residents.
Okay,
so,
good.
We provide services such as 3 meals a day.
Okay.
We also have CNAs and PCAs who actually provide care to our residents, the ones that need it. Some are still independent, some need assistance.
Sure.
We have LPNs and RNs on staff as well.
Okay.
We are very much a home environment. We consider ourselves just one big happy family here.
Hey, there's no doubt walking in the door for my first time and did not know the association with White River Area Agency on Aging, and it is a beautiful, beautiful facility, and I'm just talking about an absolute gorgeous, and you got to give us a semi-tour, and we went up to the theater room and just looking at the facility, what a great place to offer folks in our community a place to gain assistant living, and that's what you guys do. Y'all assist folks in their day-to-day, in day-to-day living capacity, and it's there's no doubt it's a beautiful facility, and I know you're proud of it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
David, why don't we have Sheila talk to us maybe if someone is interested, if they were interested in coming and looking around.
Absolutely, yeah.
We have people come that are planning ahead. They may have no need at this point in time, but Sheila, why don't you talk about that as far as they're welcome to come and talk with you?
Oh, absolutely. Typically, our considered office hours are Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, but all of our staff has been trained to give tours, provide basic information, packet information on the services that we provide and cost. So it doesn't have to be Monday through Friday. If whatever's convenient for the person who's inquiring, whether it's the weekend, evenings, we will always have someone here that is more than willing to give a tour and provide any information.
And David, that happens on the weekend sometimes because the parents or the children of the parents, that's when they can come.
Sure, absolutely.
So again, they may be looking down the road, or they may be they're needing some help right now, and so we can do those kind of things. And by the way, the food is really good here.
I can imagine.
So that's real important to me. But
I've talked to the ladies in charge. I know it's going on right here. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, but we are excited about what we do here, and Sheila and her staff. No kidding, they really do care about the folks that live here, and they really take an extra interest in them, and so it's really a really comfortable and easy place to come to.
Well, and what you guys do and what y'all have done, and you had the 35-year celebration just last month, and been doing this a long time, and this is just another well-kept secret, and we don't want it to be a well-kept secret. We want folks to know the association here, and that another thing that White River Area Agency on Aging is doing to help the elderly.
Absolutely.
Boy, it's a great facility. If you hadn't had a chance to take an opportunity to come to Eagle Mountain Assisted Living to do so, just to take a tour and as you say, maybe look ahead, because you never know when you're going to need us.
Absolutely.
John Chadwell joins us from NEDC in downtown Newport, Arkansas. It's always a pleasure to get down here to the heart of Newport, Arkansas, where the activity is going on, and you guys continue to do a fantastic job in spreading what you do best, and that is the knowledge, honestly, to help us keep going, and we're going. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
When you have growth, sometimes you have a little subtraction. We want to talk a little bit about what you guys are doing for Kroger. I'm sure everybody knows, Dad, that Kroger is shutting the stores. Talk a little bit about the Kroger store, John.
Well, first, it's unfortunate. I mean,
absolutely.
we've made some positive strides. We're looking at all this stuff happening, and then you have something like this happen, and that happens. I mean, it's not going to be all good news. It's not going to be all sunshiny days. There's going to be some. People I feel worse for are the people who work at Kroger, and the people who've worked there for a long time. And as we looked at it, we asked, when Kroger Corporate called us about 3 hours before they made the announcement to the employees, what can we do? Is there anything we can do to help you keep it? No, there's nothing we can do. We're closing the store regardless of what happens. And so we began to look, and I applaud the people who are doing the Save Kroger. I support them. I've helped pass their word out, and if that Save Kroger effort could work, that'd be fantastic. But we also have to look at, well, if it doesn't, what do we do then? And like I said, the concern was the people who work at Kroger. So we immediately decided that we would have a job fair, which will be over by the time this broadcast, because it's going to be on August the 7th. But it will be in the store for the Kroger employees, and there's, I think we've got 8 different companies and organizations that are, most of the companies are looking for employees, and then we've got a couple organizations, Department of Workforce Services can come and help them understand unemployment and how that works, and then ASU Newport's going to come and talk to them about if they want to take this chance to go back to college and maybe, further their education, some programs that are available for that. Just to try to help, because that, like I said, that's the immediate concern. And then the next concern is, well, we got another building.
Right.
And you can look at that empty building, and you can say, oh, we got another empty building, or you can look and say, okay, Kroger doesn't want to be here, so let's find an opportunity.
Absolutely.
And that building happens to be owned by a family who's got connections to Newport and likes Newport a lot, and they're willing to work with us. And within 48 hours of Kroger announcing, there were 6 different companies already expressing an interest in that building, so we're hopeful that something else will be moving into that space fairly quickly, and it'll provide some more jobs as well. That doesn't take away, I mean, if you've worked somewhere 20, 25 years and you kind of planned on retiring from there, it doesn't matter what anybody does for you, it's still a bad thing.
Absolutely. Tough deal.
It's a tough deal,
yes,
but the deal is what it is, and so we've got to try to make the best of it.
Well, and you talk about empty building and turning that into something. We've done quite well with the old Walmart building. Talk a little bit about that building.
Well, the old Walmart building continues to progress. You look at it, they're making it look really nice with the different entrances, and Tractor Supply is looking towards the end of September, 1st of October for an open date. Dollar Tree is already coming along, and Goodwill's already posting online that they're hiring people. both Tractor Supply and Goodwill will be at the job fair for Kroger to see if they can offer positions to some of those employees as well. And so that space will fill up and it'll become a new hub of activity, and a lot of people are excited about it. But on the same token, we don't want to see that cause another one of our companies to go out of business, you know. And so we've started a new program that's really geared toward our smaller mom and pop businesses, where we have entered a relationship with a consulting company, Alt Consulting, and they are a small business consulting company. And the NEDC will pay for the first $1,500 of consulting fees for them to come in, work with your business, help streamline your books, look at your marketing, maybe look at niches that you can fill that nobody's filling in the community. Just help to try to help you find a way, because some of these stores are going to be competing now with national companies, you know, and so we don't want to lose them. So if we can find a way to help them find a niche that the national company's not feeling that they can fill, then that'll help everybody. And then if you want to go on and do the second level of training, we'll pay for 80% of that. The long story or short story is you can get $2,600 worth of small business consulting for about $200 out of your pocket.
Wow.
For a business.
Well
and
worth
so it's a real good thing. We've already got 3 businesses that have signed up for it. We're taking applications for other businesses. All they got to do is contact the NEDC, and we'll do that because, like I said, there's always growing pains. There's always growing pains. When you start growing, somebody's going to hurt, and we've got to try to minimize those growing pains.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and in growing, one of the things that you look at when you determine whether or not we're growing is the housing market and affordable housing in Newport, Arkansas, and that's something that has come to the forefront that you could talk about. Talk a little bit about the housing part.
We have a lot of people moving in. We have 800 people a day who work in Jackson County who don't live here.
Right.
Newport has become more and more attractive for various reasons. Some of the things the school district's doing to improve the school district, things that we see going on in retail development. You know, as you look around the community, there's more and more activity. So that makes it more attractive to somebody who's already got a job here to say, man, I sure would like to move to Newport. And we've had several young professionals, several management folks looking to move to Newport. Now, these are not folks who want, you know, a $200 a month house.
Right,
you know,
absolutely.
these are folks who want to live in a nice neighborhood. They want a 2, 3, 4 bedroom house.
Right.
Most of them have children that would be in the school district, so that would benefit us even more. But they're finding a hard time finding something to rent. And people say, why don't they buy? Well, a lot of them are moving from another community, and they've got a house they already own there.
Sure.
And what they'd love to do is come and rent
until they sell
that one,
Absolutely.
and then turn around because they don't want to own 2 houses. And so we have had just 3 to 4 people a week in the office, in the chamber office, saying, I need a rental house. I need a rental house. I can't find a rental house. I'm looking for somewhere to rent. And we have been beating the bushes. We've got a list of people who have rental houses.
Okay.
I know one gentleman has about 60. Every single one of them's full. Now, another gentleman who manages almost 50. Every single one of them's full. And you go down the list, and they're all full. And then you look at the realtors, and they say, well, we don't have anything else. They're all full. And so we're getting the word out there that if you have a house that you're willing to rent, you want to rent, let us know. And we can steer you some good people. And like I said, the one lady was in the other day, and she wants a 4-bedroom house, and she said, I'm willing to pay $1,000, $1,200 a month.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm willing to pay a decent rental price to live in a good neighborhood and have a house.
Sure.
But there just wasn't much on the market for her to find. She would look at a townhouse style or a really, really nice apartment. But again, we just don't have those on the market. So that's an area of development we're going to have to address as we keep growing. It's, again, a growing pain, and it's a good thing. I mean, it's much better to not have enough housing and people begging for it than to have so much that you can't, you know, give
well,
it
you're
away.
not going to have, over the course of the next 30 to 60 days, there's not going to be 25 houses spring up real quickly that we're going to use for rental houses, but there is a need. There's a need for that. So short term, we're looking for anybody that might have a house that they're wanting to rent, we need to know. And in long term, you know, if some investor's willing to invest in some property and build some nice homes, you can rent them. There's no doubt.
That's right. Well, and the other thing we're doing is there are a lot of people out there who have rental homes that are just kind of word of mouth.
Right.
You know, they don't have them listed with a realtor, and they're not a rental person. They just have one house. Maybe it's the house they used to live in. They've moved to a new one. They've got this house for rent. And so what we're asking is if you have a house like that, just let us know. And if you let us know, we'll put you on the list, and as people come in, then we'll be able to forward them to you.
Give you a good prospect. John Chadwell, NEDC, always a pleasure to get to see you, my friend.
Well, thank you, sir.
Real quickly, Greyhound football coming up, and you're back on the air at KOKR Radio once again.
Back on the air. We're excited about it. Kevin Pierce and I think we'll be joined by Van Province, so we're going to have a lot of fun.
Good deal. Go Hounds. Dillinger Funeral Home, Tommy Allen, and we get to visit each and every month and talk about what's going on at Dillinger Funeral Home and the many, many years we've talked about it countless times on this program of serving people in Newport, Jackson County, Northeast Arkansas. My friend, good to see you again,
Good to
Tommy.
see you, David.
You and I were discussing a little bit before we got on the air about choices that all of us have to make, and every day there are choices that you go home and you discuss with your family, and then you research, a major choice in your life, whether it's buying a new car or some type of purchase or something along that line. But when you make these choices, you get a lot of time to study. You kind of go back and forth, and you can debate and discuss and so on and so forth. And then you and I decided that in this business, this is not one of those businesses that you get a lot of time to discuss and research, and because when it happens unexpectedly, you got to have some professional folks there that know how to make it work. That's what you guys do. Talk a little bit about that, Tommy.
It's death is a thing that people don't want to talk about.
Do not.
You could even be terminally ill and not want to talk about death is not going to happen.
Right.
We always have the hope and our wishes are that we get better, which is not always the case. And so you have a situation where you have a loved one that's passed away and things start happening real quick. You have to make decisions on the spot. You have to, you're not thinking about tomorrow or the next day. You're thinking about my, what I have to do right now.
Right now.
And so you don't have a lot of time to think about it. Dillinger Funeral Home, we want to treat your family the way we treat our family, with the utmost dignity and caring, as our professional staff will go the great lengths to tailor a service that reflects the life of the person that we're paying tribute to. And our staff goes the extra mile to make sure that we get personalized service for every family.
Well, and you guys do that. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And very difficult if you're sitting at a table and you are the one having to make the decisions. And like you say, it's not something that you see, whether it's how the service is going to be, where the burial is going to be, what type of casket that you're going to get. I mean, because there's different types, and what would reflect the life of that loved one. And then all of a sudden, you on your end, you say, well, I need a decision, and I can't go home and, well, let me get back with you next week on that.
Yeah, that's not an option.
No.
But here, one of the things about being a good funeral director is the ability to listen. And when you have family sitting around the table and they're talking about their loved one and the memories and the things they like to do and just in conversation, then the funeral director has the opportunity to recommend things that would be nice for the service, that would say this is dad or this is mom.
Right.
And that's one of the things that we pride ourselves in, being able to do that. We do it on a daily basis.
Let me ask you a question, and it's got off the cuff, and we haven't discussed this. And when you sit down and you visit with people, and generally when you do that, there's always there's a leader of the bunch. Generally, I would think,
Yes.
and the leader
Yes.
kind of, what do you want to do? If there are disagreements, if there were a disagreement, how are things like that handled? That's a real delicate situation.
It is a very delicate situation. On a, for the lack of a better term, good day.
Right. Yeah.
Family comes in and between the 4 or 5 of them, 6 of them, 8 of them, whatever there
Right,
is,
yeah.
They talk about what they want and is this good for you, or would it be okay if we played this song, or you know, is it okay if we leave the casket open during the service and
little
sometimes just
little
the details that it takes to, and there's so many that people don't realize that it. I start to say it's like building a house, and that's a bad terminology, but you don't think, well, you think, well, we're going to build a house, but you don't know about the baseboard, the trim, door trim, and then
where you're going to put the electrical switches.
It just bogs up on you.
It does that.
And it causes stress.
Absolutely.
But you still have time to think about it and sort it out.
Sure.
With a funeral, you don't have that time. You have all these decisions to make.
Right.
And we're sitting around the table, and usually a funeral conference for me is about 2 hours, 2 hours and a half.
Right.
And so we're making all these decisions in 2 hours.
Right.
All the people that we need to contact, the pallbearers, the minister, the church, the just cemetery, sexton. It just the list goes on, and you have to document this, and all of it has to be taken care of very quick.
Right.
And so, and I know, but I always talk about prearrangement.
Sure.
If you take care of it ahead of time, and I have families tell me all the time, you know, I am so glad Dad took care of this ahead of time.
Absolutely.
You know, when you come in and
then there are no disagreements.
There's no disagreements.
And very little discussion other than these are Dad's wishes and this is the way we're going to do it.
And for the most part, families want to do what Mom or Dad wanted to do, but they didn't talk about it and they don't know what that is.
Right.
But
prearrangement is important.
The prearrangement is
very important.
And it's not about the money.
Right. No, it has nothing to do with money.
It's not all about the money. You can save, literally, I've seen thousands of dollars being saved for people prearranged and prepaid. But the prearranged part is very important for the family because the person that has passed away has taken care of the details ahead of time. There's no question if we're doing what they wanted.
Right. What songs are there, you know, and from the biggest details to the smallest, most minute details, generally handled. Few questions to be asked, you get it handled, and you reflect a pretty good life of those people that you're paying tribute to.
Absolutely.
Tommy Allen, always a pleasure to get to see you, my friend. Dillinger Funeral Home, folks, y'all know where we're located. We've been here for many, many years, and we continue to serve the good folks of Newport and Tuckerman, Jackson County, all of Jackson County, Northeast, North Central Arkansas, and really around the world, my friend. Tommy, good to see you.
When it really counts, we really care.
At the Dillinger Funeral Home.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the August edition of the Jackson County Extension Service Report. I'm Randy Kopechka with the Jackson County office of the University of Arkansas Cooperative Extension Service. Well, this month we're going to talk about a new insect of grain sorghum. You can see in the background I've kind of set up grain sorghum for my backdrop this month. We're here on the Newport Newport Extension Center, where they have some research going on in several crops, including grain sorghum. And this past month, actually on July 29th, for the first time in this part of the state, they found a new insect called the sugarcane aphid. Now, the sugarcane aphid has been found in other areas, but it's gradually made its way up here, and it's something we certainly need to be concerned with. The sugarcane aphid was previously found in the United States, but as the name implies, only on sugarcane. Now, last year that changed. They started finding the sugarcane aphid on grain sorghum. They found it in several states, neighboring states including Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So, you know, a lot of times when things show up down south of here, they never really make it up here. If they do make it up here, it takes many, many years or sometimes decades to make it up here, but this has been an exception. This year on June 27th, the sugarcane aphid was found on grain sorghum down in Ashley and Chico counties in far southeast Arkansas. You know, even at that point, I thought, well, they probably won't make it here this year, but gradually they've moved northward, and within about a month, they've made it to Newport, Arkansas. So it's certainly something we've got to be aware of. The major concern with this insect is not actually yield loss as such. Really, the main thing is harvest difficulties. The aphid, the sugarcane aphid, like all aphids, really secretes a sugary excrement that's kind of sticky, and they call that honeydew. Well, this honeydew gets all over the leaves and the plants and makes harvest very difficult. You know, we like for our combines to have dry dry foliage running through it and not sticky stuff. If you have sticky leaves and things like that, it'll choke that combine up and make harvest very difficult. So that's the big problem with this insect. And up to 50% yield losses have been reported in states south of us where they dealt with this year. So that's our big issue with it. You know, management right now is a challenge for several reasons. You know, these insects rapidly multiply, so you might just have a few one day and then they can rapidly increase. Also, we have limited control options, and plus it's a new insect. You know, we don't have a lot of data, especially on grain sorghum, to know how to treat this insect. So, you know, we're kind of learning as we go. We have been lucky to get a Section 18 label, insecticide label for the insecticide Transform. Transform has been tested down in those states where it was found last year. The aphid was found last year and reportedly does very well in controlling this insect, so we're lucky to have that. You know, we have no real action threshold yet on when to spray because it is so new. This insect is found on the undersides of leaves, so again it makes it kind of hard to scout for since it is found mainly there, but if numbers get high enough it will go to other parts of the plant. So you got to be looking for those undersides of the leaves. As far as treatment goes, you know, if you have moderate to large colonies of this insect found and with a lot of honeydew or honeydew starting to show up, you probably need to go ahead and think about treatment of this insect because of those harvest difficulties. You know, if you just have some small colonies, maybe some individual aphids here and there, not seeing any honeydew, then you just need to kind of wait. Just continue to scout the field and see if you need to treat or not. As far as identifying the insect, most people wouldn't know what aphids looks like. It's just another type of aphid. If you can do some searches on the internet and find some pictures, or also I can get you some information if you need to know how to identify this insect. But again, this is the sugarcane aphid found on grain sorghum here in Newport at the Newport Extension Center on July 29th, and we're going to be watching it closely throughout harvest. For more information, you can contact me at the Jackson County Extension Office. This has been Randy Kulpechka with your August Jackson County Extension Service report.
Reliability in today's technology is what you'll receive with every T&L pivot system. T&L offers 3 control systems that best meet your needs. First, the TLC computer control features speed and direction control at any degree of the circle, as well as chemigation, measurements, and more. Second, the new speed and direction control at the pivot point has all the convenience of the computer control without the complexity. Third, the standard speed and direction control, the simplest and most reliable in the industry. See your T&L dealer today to find out more about the leading management tools for your T&L irrigation systems.